Hello everybody, it's George from LGW3 Orchids and Exotics. So this is sort of take two. I decided to do a video in the evening time. The light unfortunately coming in here, especially during the winter time, and we recently had some snow a couple days ago, so it's been really bright outside, and coming to the indoors here it just sort of made everything look pretty dull and hard to see. So wanted to give everybody a better view of really what's going on here. So let me give you a close to mid-February update. This is pretty much coming up to my first full year of really growing orchids and learning about different species and hybrids and getting involved in this. So it's been a great hobby. Thoroughly enjoy it. So first thing we have here is a Cattleya. This I actually won at one of the auctions. This is a Patinara Love NN. Beautiful specimen. Definitely love the colors. You can see there it's super bright yellow. It's got the orangish, reddish, I guess you could say lips in the middle there. So beautiful Cattleya. Definitely did well. This is actually the second blooms off it. First blooms died off about I guess about a month ago. So this little guy here stays in bloom quite a while. This has already been in bloom for, I would say, about a month. So next thing we have here is a cyclamen. I usually find a lot of these at the grocery stores right now. Cool looking plant. Definitely like the flowers on it, something different. So over here we have my Paphiopedilum. It's one of the high-low greens. This guy is super long blooming. Bloomed back in, I want to say, August. Stayed in bloom for about a month and a half, almost 2 months actually. So nice specimen. Over here we have another Cattleya. Got this guy. Still waiting to get some blooms off that. Hopefully maybe in the spring or summer. Next we have this awesome, this is a bird of paradise. You can see it's pretty big here. I'll step back a little bit, let you see it. I know these are quite common to Florida and Hawaii and other areas. I actually picked this guy up off Amazon a couple years ago. Believe it or not, it's actually probably more like 3 or 4 years ago. I believe at the time I got it, it was only about 15-20 inches tall. So grows pretty quick. Got a bloom last year. No bloom this year, unfortunately. I think it had to do with the fact that I had this thing in the living room. Moved temporarily in the summertime, and it wasn't getting as much light. And definitely light seemed to be the factor for it probably not blooming this year. Not just getting as much. So it's all right. Next up here we have one of the rubra orchids. It's a beautiful little specimen. Gets nice orange flowers on it. I believe they got the orange flowers probably around, I want to say September, October. So hopefully this guy will definitely bloom again come summer, maybe late fall. Another little air plant. This is a cool thing. It's done pretty well. Even during the winter months, just, I soak it once a week or so, give it a little extra water. Seems to be doing well. Over here we have a Dendrobium nobile over there in the back. No sign of any blooms or kikis, so I'm not sure what's going on with that, if it will do anything this year. This is my Oncidium. This is all new growth here, you can see. Probably won't bloom until probably late summer, early fall. So it's been kind of a learning curve. This is really the first year that I've gone through a thorough learning curve with the winter watering cycle. They say, obviously, with less light during the winter time, and here where I'm at, over in the New Jersey area in the U.S., you're probably looking at about 9.5 hours at the lowest light point, come December. So obviously the plants aren't as active, and you have to take that into account. If you overwater, if you give too much water, thinking that the plants can handle it, obviously they can't. So in particular here, this Bellaria, I know this kind of suffered a little bit. This is actually one of the divisions I had to take off the plant, but I could see the bulb here is a little bit soft, so I think that got a little too much water. Typically watering indoors here in the summertime, no problem, twice a week for most of these guys. Now with the winter season, maybe once a week. A couple of them just need a little spritz. Usually use like DI water or something like that, distilled water, to give them a little spritz. Over here I have my Dracula Lotax. This little guy here definitely needs cooler temperatures, likes it here near the window. Seems to be doing pretty well. Put some distilled water in here and it sort of wicks up through the pot itself. I apologize for the lighting a little bit if it's low here. This guy is a Costa Rican orchid. It is, let's see if I can see the tag here. It is a Orchids centridaria, and I was actually pretty impressed I was able to get this to bloom this year. Looks like it enjoyed the cooler weather by the window here. Beautiful little purplish, whitish flowers here. Semi-deciduous, so it definitely drops some leaves, but it seems to grow tons of little kikis here too as well. You can see the little kikis growing over it. Again, I apologize for the light, it's a little bit low here. Basically, I just keep this thing in a big vase with some lava rock on the bottom, and it seems to be doing quite well. Again, next to this other little Cattleya here, lots of little new growth here. The daylight's starting to become longer. I think we're at about 10.5 hours again, approaching almost 11 hours, so things are hopefully going to start to kick into high gear. Back there I have a, Dendrobium Christianum. This little guy here is still taking a dry winter rest. Really haven't given it any water. Spritz here or there just to kind of keep things somewhat moving along, but for the most part it just needs a dry rest. And as I mentioned before, with the winter season, I think one of the biggest things here that I had a challenge with were a couple of these small phals. Ironically, it seems like the bigger Phalaenopsis were able to handle a little more water. I don't know if it was able to dissipate through the leaves or whatever, but this here, apparently a couple of the roots here got rotted out, and trying to get these to go back in semi-water culture hopefully sometime in the next couple months. Once the grow season starts to kick back into high gear, these guys will start to grow roots again. Basically keeping it just above the water line here, and under here I also have a heating pad, so I'm actually keeping this a little bit heated. Typically I wouldn't do this, trying to induce blooms. It's nice to have a couple month cooler period, but given the condition they're in, I want to let these guys really grow back their roots and get back to optimum health. So over here we have a Ludicea discolor. This guy over here I got from a friend, one of my Orchid Society meetings. I actually got it. It was just starting to put out a bloom. It's been doing well. Apparently it loves the light location over here, in proximity to the window. This is actually an eastern facing window, so most of the light comes in and shines in over here, and everything seems to love it. So, alright, and next I'll take you real quick over to my next growing area. This is the living room area. Over here I have an unknown, unidentified Phalaenopsis. Beautiful little specimen. I've had this guy for, I guess, about 2 months, and blooms are still there. I believe it was a Trader Joe's special, so it seems to be doing pretty well. No complaints there. And moving on, I went to an orchid show today over at one of the local markets here in central New Jersey. I picked up this beautiful little specimen here. This is a Pleurothallus ruskifolia. So I just put this in some lava rock in the bottom there, keeping it, extra humidity. not keeping it moist necessarily inside, but just trying to keep the humidity around it. Over here, beautiful Oncidium. This is another Trader Joe's special, as you can see. I really wish they put the IDs, but I guess they don't, probably for a reason. They don't want people copying these things or trying to reclone them. Who knows? Over here, I have a, let's see, this is a Miltonia Vanity Red Shadow, and this is a beautiful specimen. I actually got this from Silva Orchids over in central New Jersey. Great orchids over there. This guy was actually in flower, I would say it was, I want to say late October, November, which was kind of odd because typically they don't get blooms on them until spring, but apparently this guy wanted to bloom an extra time, so far so good. Over here I have another specimen. This is from Andy's Orchids. This is an Encyclia Marii. Nice little specimen mounted. I actually picked this up over at one of the, it was a North Jersey Orchid show over by Rutgers University about a month ago. And Andy's Orchids were there. They had all kinds of nice orchids. So over here, another Paphiopedilum, another Cattleya down there that I got from another friend. A couple more beautiful specimens. And I recently have been trying too with these African violets. Typically I wasn't into African violets, but you know, every now and then you see a couple really nice specimens over at Lowe's or Home Depot, and I couldn't pass these up. This one over here, it's a little hard to see with the LED grow lights, but that's a pink one. That's a beautiful deepish purple color. And this guy here, I believe, is a blue, or a blue and white stripe, although there's no flowers right now. Alright, moving on to the last part. I have another Bellaria in the back there. This is actually the mother plant of the little one that I showed you the division before in the bedroom. And let's see, we have an Oncidium Twinkle Red over here. Again, you know, it's starting to get some new growth on it, as you can see. Doing real well. So this little guy over here, this is an Epidendrum Green Hornet. Again, no blooms right now. There were blooms up until about let's say about a month and a half ago. Now it's just sort of, I guess, hanging out, waiting to get some new growth. Another, let's see, another Denphal over here. And this is Zygopetalum. Beautiful colors. Gets like nice purple. Obviously not in bloom right now, but it's definitely getting some new growth, as you can see in here. Lots of new root growth over there. And interesting enough, I don't know, Zygopetalums always make me a little nervous. As you can see there, the leaves. These guys are real sensitive to water, from what I've heard. So if they get a little splash on them, they're real susceptible to, you know, fungus or bacterial infection. So, you know, I actually wiped this down with fungicide really well, and lo and behold, nothing's spreading. You know, it doesn't necessarily look the best, but at least it's not spreading worse. That's a good thing. So just something to be aware of if you have any Zygopetalums. They, if you do get water on the leaves, you got to make sure you have a good fan on them, or make sure that they can dry out quick. Alright, moving on, over here is the Terrarium. I just picked up this guy today. This is a Epidendrum Matthewsi. It's a beautiful little specimen here. Couple little air plants in the back there. I believe they call this like an acorn orchid. Another, some more air plants in the back, and it's a beautiful little specimen. Check this guy out. I picked this guy up. This is actually from Ecuagenera. Let's see if I can get you a good view here. If you look real close, you can actually see the little flowers on the top there. Beautiful looking flowers. I mean, it's super tiny. I mean, literally this guy, each leaf is probably the size of a fingernail. So you can imagine how small that little flower is there, but it actually looks almost like a like a little fly standing up on it. And this guy is a Lepanthes calodictyon cup leaves. So again, beautiful little specimen. Loves to, here you go, there's a nice little view. Let's see if I can get it to focus. Again, likes to be kept super moist. So everything in the terrarium here, I have it on a cycle of the ultrasonic humidifier here. Comes on, I think it's every 3 hours. Usually maintains, as you can see, the humidity's dropping right now. It's 83, but by the time it gets ready to cycle on again, it'll drop down to maybe 60, maybe a little lower. Never below 50. Got a heating mat under here, so this always stays nice and warm. And this is a Dryadella albicans tall, and kind of hard to see. I don't know if you can see the little flower there. There's a tiny little flower over there. Got that guy to grow. One in the back here. This actually has 2 flowers on it. This is the Bacillus. That guy actually got Orchid of the Month this year. This month actually at the Orchid Society meeting. Alright, and a couple other ones. This is a Dendrobium kingianum alba. Another beautiful specimen. Another white Paphiopedilum. Let's see. Here's a Stellus morgani. I picked this guy up today. Again, cool looking little flowers. A little hard to focus on here. Really nice specimen. I'm actually going to put that in the terrarium. I just finished watering it and getting it set up a little bit. And to finish it off here, I have another specimen here. This is a Bulbophyllum Blumerii. Oh, jeez. And it's a nice little specimen here. So this little guy, I decided to mount it. Originally, it came in I had it in a pot, but I think it likes to be mounted. So, and that's pretty much it. This is my new layout here. I reorganized this about 2 months ago. Decided to move some things around a little bit. So, in any case, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and feel free to comment below. Any suggestions, things you like, things you don't like, feel free to leave your comments, and thank you for watching. Have a great night. Bye.